Yo. I've evidently been live for a while. Okay. Yo, Anthony. What is up? Hello, Haley. Sandy and Jeff and Jess. Hugh, Rack, Candy, and Mike. What is up, guys? Hello, Annie. What's up, Reels? Good to see you too, Jess. Yeah, I am, ain't I, Jeff? Yeah, and I shaved off my great big giant beard a little bit too. Not too much, but a little bit. I can tell you've been losing weight. Yeah, I have, Adrian. What's up, Pam? What's up, Priscilla? I can't believe I'm actually able to see this. I've actually had to start wearing reading glasses since the last time I was live. So, I'm gonna pull it up here to where I can see the chat. Okay, this one's active, so I'm gonna pull it up. All right, so now I can see the chat really good. So what is up, guys? Oh, the beard to be back, Priscilla. I honestly don't know why I shaved it. I've got like white skin underneath here where, if you can see the difference between my arm and my neck, my beard covered up my neck all summer long. So Mikey just texted me on Facebook. I have white skin everywhere. I know what you mean. Jess Shrimp says, looking trim Jeffro. Yep, I'm wearing a size medium t-shirt now, and I was in a double XL at the very beginning. My pant size is down to 34, and I was in a size 30 or 42 when I first started all of this. So I'm down to 209 pounds from somewhere close to 300. I was like, I don't have an exact like technical weight, like I didn't ever weigh myself, but the first time that I actually had a weight, I was high 260s, and I'd already been doing this for 3 months, and I had already went down a pant size and a shirt size at that time, so I'd already lost like 25 pounds then. So I'm thinking that I was like 290 to 300, somewhere around in there is a good guesstimation. So I've lost somewhere around 80 pounds ish, and I'm gonna have to keep an eye. I'm on my cell phone tonight, so hopefully everything is okay. When they got rid of the Google Hangouts, I had already stopped OBS because OBS was just working trash for me, and I've tried for the last 3 or 4 weeks numerous practice runs, and I can't get OBS to work worth a crud. So it's gonna have to be this. I know in the past, whenever I move my cell phone around, it gets kind of blotchy or whatever. I've been out of the live stream game for so long, I can't even remember what it's called. Yeah, I'm same old blonde. It just, if I'm sitting still with the cell phone, it's pretty good. And I've got an external mic on there. I just slapped together a little tripod real quick. So I've really missed you guys a lot. I don't really have much of an excuse other than once I started missing, it got kind of nice to have some time away. And, but I've missed you guys all along, you know? I mean, yeah, so I've been wanting to get back into this for quite a while, and I just wanted it to kind of be right. So this is kind of about where I'm at right now, is like do it live from the mobile phone is what I'm thinking. So so how are all you guys doing? Um, I know it's been a while since I've seen a lot of you. I see Ed and Ginger in here. I sent them some plecos this week, and I've heard from both of them, and they both turned out good. I sent Mikey some last week. Who else did I send some to? Oh, I sent some to Carrie at Science Gal Aquatics, and then I had one guy come and pick up some in person. Not much has really changed. Um, I'll tell you what, I got kind of, I didn't really, I hate to say the word burned out, but I do want to kind of cut back a little bit. So I'm thinking about downsizing some tanks, and I know I'd talked about that a while back, but I didn't even put any livestock out in my summer tubs. All my summer tubs have been going and cycling. I did clean out one pleco tank. Like my L183 tank was just overrun with shrimp and endlers. Come here, Dozer. Dozer. Okay. So I took a bunch of those out and I put them in one tub outside. But yeah, I'm thinking about taking my 10-gallon rack and getting rid of all my 10 gallons and then maybe just putting some of my 40 gallons over on it, because it holds the same. It'll hold 4 10 gallons or one 40-gallon breeder. So I'm thinking about doing that to free up some space. I haven't done anything with my 300-gallon aquarium yet. I did have a really big loss. I had a, what was it, a L24 cactus pleco. I did a video about it a while back, and it ended up dying. That was a big setback. I've only told like a couple of people about that too. I had a lid on the tank, and if you go back and look at the video, the lid was kind of a rig job type of lid. One end of it was the polycarbonate, which was really good, and the other end, like probably a 12-inch section, was just a little plastic piece out of a toolbox that had like a little oval shape out of it, and the oval shape was exposed where I could feed the fish through there. And I had been talking about pulling him out for like 3 weeks and putting him in the low boy in there, and eventually he was going to go in the big 300-gallon tank, but I was afraid that he would jump out of the low boy in my bedroom. So I kept on waiting, and I kept on thinking, I'll just build a top for the low boy and then I'll put him in it. And I woke up the next morning after coming up with the plan. I woke up the next morning and he was on the floor in my dining room, and he was stiff as a board. And what had happened was he had gotten to where he wanted to eat every day, and he got to where he memorized where the feeding hole was. And I had noticed for like the last week, if I wasn't feeding him every day, like when I would come home from work, he would be nudging up at the top where that feeding hole is. And I had noticed that for the last week. He would stick his nose out of that hole like that far. And the tops were not bothered whatsoever. He just dove out of that opening and fell right into the floor, and it happened in the middle of the night. So that was one thing that happened. I can't really think of anything else that's changed. I've been shipping a bunch of Cheese Creek plecos. Everybody has been doing really good on that. I seem to be getting like 2 orders of those a week, so that's been really, really nice. Yeah. I've got like 3 or 4 videos to edit. I just hadn't got around to it yet. It has been nice having the summer kind of off. I didn't plan it. One of the biggest things that happened was when my grandmother passed away, and I don't even know if any of you guys even know that, but my mom's mom passed away, and it was kind of a blessing because she was in her late 80s, and she'd been in a nursing home for the last year, and her quality of life wasn't really the best in the world. So it was kind of a blessing that, she's in a better place type of thing. and it happened right around the time where I was going to be uploading a video to try to thank my. I had just hit 3,000 subscribers, and I was going to do a fish room video, and I still need to probably do that before I start breaking tanks down. Um, but I just didn't get around to it, and her funeral was right around the time whenever I needed to leave. So I went to that and, dealt with all of that. But whenever I got back from that, one of my close friends that I've known for quite a few years, we was in the middle of hiring him back at my work. And he had been away from us for a year. He went to explore other paths of work, and it just didn't turn out. And we were in the final stages of getting him hired, and my boss was supposed to do a phone interview with him the Monday when I was coming back from out of state to my grandmother's funeral. And we got a text from his wife that he was at the hospital. Well, me and my boss were both in the town where he was in the hospital at, and it was bad. It was really bad. He was basically dying right there in front of me, and it was really kind of traumatic to me because I'd never been through anything like that before. And what he was dying from, and he was 30, he was going to be 38 in like a week whenever he passed away. And he's got a little 6-year-old boy and a little 3-year-old girl and a young, really awesome wife and family. And he was one of those guys that I never have ever had a cross word with. Just a really good guy. But anyhow, it was a pulmonary embolism, and it was a severe one. He was really just, blood was just gushing out of him whenever I was there with him, and it was just terrible. I hadn't seen him in probably a couple of months, is about how long it had been since I had saw him. So it was really, really rough time, and that's about the time that whenever it happened, and I just kind of, it just, my leave of absence kind of just happened, guys. It, I'm a really strong person. I mean, I even made it, I didn't leave YouTube even whenever my dad passed away, I mean, I was strong through all of that, and you guys help us through those kind of things. So I don't really think that it was really because of that. That's just things that have been going on with me and everything. But yeah, it's really good to see all you guys. I'm just sitting here blabbing like I haven't talked to you guys in a while. I know I see a lot of you guys on social media all the time, and I talk to a lot of you guys all the time, so I'm glad to see all of you guys are doing well. By the way, since we are live here, how is the sound? How is the video portion of this and the audio? Are we getting any blurps, or am I loud and clear? All that kind of stuff. Audio and video good. Cool. That is awesome. Terry has been slaying the big bass I've seen on Facebook. That guy, I'm friends with him on Facebook, and he goes out and fishes whenever he gets a chance. He doesn't go by the weather. And, there was this one day where it was so windy that nobody else was on the lake, but he was slaying the bass. And there was one day this last week that he caught what he says might be his personal best. And it's pretty awesome. I love bass fishing, and there he is just slaying away. I didn't go fishing all year this year. I didn't put the line in one time. Now, my 17-year-old son, he's got my freezer full of fish. He went almost every single day this summer, and I never went once. Not one time. I didn't even go swimming this year, guys. I've done a lot of walking. I walked 200, can't remember what it was, 219, I think, 219 miles last month. So if you really average that out, it's like 8 miles a day, kinda. Somewhere around 8 miles a day is what I'm averaging. It was almost 500,000 steps. Gosh, like 17,000 calories I burned. And yeah. Good to see you too, Haley. Thanks for stopping in, and thank you for the kind words. Um, Bill Emerson says I love trapping bass, little ones. Cool. I don't know that I've ever done that before. Mike says I finally went fishing last weekend for the first time all year. I can't remember. I don't even think I went fishing last year. I really don't. Last year I was really busy with YouTube. This summer I don't really have an excuse except for um, every night whenever I get done with supper and I get done with supper dishes, I go for like a 1.5 hour walk. John Bedker says I've been biking about 40 miles a week. Awesome, man. Awesome. It's good to see you too, John. I'm going, not this weekend, of course, but next weekend. I can't remember what town it is in Wisconsin, but I'm going to Cataclysm this next weekend. I know that originally I had talked about going to Aquashella, but originally it was going to be in August, and I didn't have anything going. But this year, when Aquashella is in Chicago, I have an ALS walk event that I have to go to. Um, so yeah, and the sad thing is today I delivered a power wheelchair. It took me almost 4 hours to get there, and I was 5 miles from the Wisconsin line. I was real close to Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin today. I left the house at 8 o'clock. I got there at noon. I stayed there for an hour, and I got home at 5. So all I did is just drive there, adjust a wheelchair, and then come back. Um, but yeah, there's some of the fish fam that are going to be there. And Cataclysm is right up my alley, too. Terry says, I plan to go to the Catfish convention, but I think I'm going to miss it. By the way, everyone that's here tonight, if I didn't say hello to you, hello. It's nice to see y'all, and nice to see you, Candy. Um, yeah, I wish you could go to it, Terry. That'd be awesome. Um, I know for sure these are two people that I know that are going to be there. I know that Ted Judy's going to be there, and I know that Tom from TM Aquatics is going to be there for sure. Those are the two people that I know for sure are going to be there that I know. Um, Jess Shrimp Granny is going to catch us on the flip side. Oh, catch Haley on the flip side. Bob from Steampod Aquatics is here. Hello, Bob. Thanks for the kind words at your stream the other night. I have kicked butt in the health and wellness this year, though. About the only thing that I've got that I didn't really like this summer is I got a really dark suntan. I got like this little sunspot going on up here. But yeah, I think a guesstimation, since I didn't have a pre-weight, is 70 to 80 pounds. So far, I'm at 209 right now. And my goal weight through all of this, I've got a Fitbit. My company bought me and all my coworkers Fitbits, and there's a Fitbit app, and we've been competing against each other, which I've been kicking their butts all the time. If any of them are watching, I'm sorry for rubbing it in, but it's the truth. But I'm very, very competitive. There was one weekend where I had the lead. I was like, we were doing a weekend warrior challenge, and it starts Friday night at midnight, and I just started one with my sister tonight, but it starts Friday night at midnight, and it goes all the way till Sunday night at midnight. And going into that Sunday, I was ahead by like 20,000 steps, and I went ahead and did 30. That was my personal best that day. It was like 33,000 steps, somewhere around in there. And yeah, it was a day that at the end of it, I was pretty tired. But really, one thing that I have learned about fitness along this way is a lot of people talk about diets, and a lot of people talk about cutting out foods and all of that kind of stuff. But basically, anything that you put into your body, um, you've got to calculate those calories, and you got to work those calories off. as best you can. You got to have some calories for your body, of course, but like today at lunch, I ate one slice of pizza, like a piece of sausage pizza. I hardly ever eat bread, so I stay away from pizza for the most part, but one slice of pizza. And another thing that I learned is there's foods out there that are more filling, that are better for you. So, in other words, I could have ate a better lunch and got a lot more for my body versus one slice of pizza that got everything that's in all of that food, if that makes any kind of sense. I just ate an entire medium pizza. Well, I was up to like 6 or 7 slices of pizza every time I would get pizza. Me and my boys, we would get pizza like 3 nights a week for sure, and I would eat 6 or 7 slices of pizza every time. I put Fitbit on my, never mind, oh brother, Kevin. I've got some stories I could tell you about that. Oh man, that's funny. Nice to see you, Patricia. Cody-san is here. Liked all your videos with John and Lisa, Rack. That was pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. Looks like you guys had some fun. Is Dozer lean and mean? Dozer is lean and mean, Mike. He doesn't like it, but I was for a while doing fasting, but then I heard that whenever you fast for a day, it makes your body start storing fat. So I kind of stopped doing it. It was working, like I was losing the weight, but it was a struggle. It was a fight. So yeah, fasting to me is unhealthy. You're right, Bob. I was fasting for a whole day. I don't even think fasting for a meal would be very good because I'm walking so much that it would make me probably almost black out if I didn't put in enough calories. But yeah, Dozer, I had to cut him way back on his food, and there for a while I was fasting him every other day, but he doesn't like it. So instead of hearing him whine, I just cut back his food. You know, it's kind of like with us. Don't eat as much at a setting. You know what I mean? Daryl Deemer's in the house. What's up, Daryl? Tampa Tom is here. I did see you earlier, Tampa Tom. Nice to see you. Yep, Dozer's over here at my feet. Zonked. Aren't you? He just turned 6 a couple weeks ago. And I let him, what was it that he ate? I let him eat some, he can't eat human food because he's got like an acid reflux problem. So, it's inevitable he's going to throw up, and then he gets it on him and he gets all stinky and everything. So, I can't remember what it was that I fed him though. It was something that he really likes, human food. Can't remember what it was though. Proclaimed fast food should only be done if you're led to do it. Yeah, man, I can't even eat at McDonald's at all anymore. The only halfway healthy thing that McDonald's had on their menu was their salad, and people, what was it, like 200 and some people had salmonella poisoning from their salad. So Priscilla says you're going to be in Chicago. Well, originally I was going to go to Aquashella in Chicago here in a couple or 3 weeks or whatever, and whenever it was in August, but they changed it to September. And whenever they changed it, I've got an ALS walk that I have to be at that weekend. So I looked at other things that I could go to, and not this weekend right now, but next weekend, Cataclysm is in Wisconsin, and I'm going to go to that. And Cataclysm is right up my alley. It's, you know, plecos and catfish, you know. So I am not going to be able to go to Chicago in a couple weeks, or 3 weeks, something like that. And, you know, my ALS event is the same weekend every year, and I don't know why Aquashella changed it, but they did. And that just happens to be the same weekend that every year I have a ALS walk. And that's one reason why I missed it last year. Kevin Rosenberg is here. What's up, Kevin? And Shelby, if I didn't say hi to you earlier, nice to see you. And I guess while everybody's in here, we got like 37 people here. I'd like to get back doing weekly live streams, but I almost, since I've got, without divulging too much information, I've kind of got a personal life now, and I'd kind of like to stay away from Friday nights and Saturday nights if I can, because I can remember back when I did live stream every week, I was about the only one that was going on Saturday nights, and I kind of liked that because that gave me more traffic. But at the same time, it's kind of harder to actually find time to do it whenever you're busy. And, you know, it's just going to be one of those things where I'm going to have to find a day during the week that works best for everybody. I know that Saturday in the summertime kind of gets slow. People, you know, go out and do a lot more in the summer, you know, on Saturday nights. In the wintertime, Saturday nights work great for everyone. Don't say it's Bonnie. No, it's not Bonnie, Jeff. No, it's not Bonnie. Oh, but other than that, school's back going now. Things are going with that. I did buy a new car. One of the challenges for me is I've got a 1997 Jeep Wrangler. I did keep it. It's my baby. I love it. But whenever I would go travel, I would have to get a rental car because Jeeps are nice and everything, but they're meant for off-roading or just putting around town a little bit. Honestly, they're not practical for a daily driver, really. So I kept it because I'll drive it in the wintertime, but I needed a car to be able to travel. You know, every time I go out of state, I have to get a rental car. So I did some searching, and before I even knew how the cars drove, I had liked the body style of they made them from 2013 to 2018 Ford Focus ST. They're a hatchback car, and it's kind of a lot like my Jeep. You can customize them. You can put aftermarket accessories on them and stuff, you know. And there's all kinds of different options on the motor. You can get them with the turbo, yada, yada, yada. I didn't really care about any of that. But I started looking for one. And I thought Dozer was throwing up. It's Mia. She's not throwing up. She's just taking a drink, and it was really sloppy. But anyhow, thanks VB23. Night Terry. Anyhow, I was in Des Moines getting my 75-gallon aquarium because it was the end of the dollar per gallon, and I got it for half price at Petco. And on my way out of the strip there, I seen a Ford dealership, and I thought, I'm just going to go in here and look. And I found one, and it's an awesome car. I mean, it's really awesome. It's blacked out. I mean, it sounds good, and I really, seeing these cars, I would have thought they were just a little putt-putt four-cylinder car until I test drove it. And then whenever I got it home, I really gave it what for. And I mean, the speedometer says 180 on it, guys. You know, I mean, this car, it's fast. But anyhow, it's like a little, it's a good car, and it gets good gas mileage. You know, it's a 6-speed manual transmission, which I like that. So both of my vehicles are manual transmission, but that's about the only new things going on in my life. I need to downsize aquariums, probably get rid of my 10-gallon racks. I just saw my female Cheese Creek just a little bit ago. I was in there looking for this mic, and I turned on the overhead light in there, and their tank has been running dark all the time, and she's full of eggs. She was up on the glass, so that could be happening anytime. Chattanooga Ed, what is up, buddy? Nice to see ya. Who? Uh-oh. Lost my TV there for a second. Remicandero. Let's see here. Priscilla likes her car 40 miles an hour. What did you do to your car recently, Priscilla? There was something I saw on social media somewhere where something had happened to your car. Was it a fender bender or something? I know you got that new eel. There's Mikey. Just found the biggest clutch of 182 eggs I've ever seen. Awesome, dude. Awesome. My male super red has got the female trapped in the cave tonight. So I'm waiting on, probably have to pull some eggs here after a while. My 183s, my male was chasing a female into a cave last night, but he never could keep her trapped. So that's starting to happen. If I could get my 183s to go, but my female Cheese Creek, her stomach is just full of eggs. Bender, yep. Okay, I thought that was what it was. It wasn't you? Oh no. John says, I've been focusing on keeping more than breeding. Well, what I want to do is, I want to just go full-fledged cats. I want to do catfish and plecos, and I want to get out of the live bear game. I want to get my big tank set up and get some big plecos, but then the rest, I want to work on breeding my Synodontis. You know, I've got Synodontis lace, multipunctata. I got the Synodontis lucipennis and petricola. So I've got 4 different cats. I want to focus on my super reds, my 182s, my 183s, and my L393s, and then maybe throw in a whiptail or something like that. I know Mikey said that he hasn't got his to go for a while, so I might offer him up and ship them here. Sometimes if they stress out, they'll have a spawn. You still trying to get your zebras to go? Oh, your male died? Oh, you know what? That reminds me, one of my L34 Medusa males died. I moved them from their 10-gallon tank they've been in ever since I got them, because I was like, they've made it past quarantine. Gosh, I've had them for like 3 months, and they're still in that little 10-gallon tank, you know? And I moved them to a 55 that I had the super reds in, and he died within like 3 or 4 days. The other one's doing fine. What is up, Otter Creek? Not much. See? Mikey's talking in Spanish. You having a good night, Mikey? Still been talking to Mikey and the gang. I talked to Jeremy today, and he's talking about possibly coming back to YouTube soon. And I thought that was pretty cool. Nice to talk to him. We talked for a good hour today. Just got home from Wyoming. Awesome. I eat tacos a lot. I hear people all the time talk about how tacos, I guess for lack of a better term, are kind of fattening or whatever. But there again, like I said earlier, it's like how much tacos you put in, you know? Like whenever I have tacos, I just eat one taco, you know, like, you know, the little, what are they, 5-inch corn tortillas? I, you know, heat those up in a skillet and put a little bit of meat, a little bit of cheese, and a little bit of lettuce on it, and that's my meal. What color are those tacos? John says, my biggest zebras are a full 3-inch, so they're close. Boy, that'd be awesome, man. I know I was pretty stoked whenever I got my Cheese Creeks to go, and then I got them to go again, and now they're getting ready to go again. So like, I probably need to start thinking about pulling the male out. I've only had one chance to pull him out, and what I really need to do is I need to pull him out now and then really work on her for a couple of weeks to get her conditioned really good, to get her gravid, and then put him back in and get him to spawn, and then try to get him out again. Because in that planted 40-gallon breeder that they're in, it's just a jungle in there, and that's why they like it so much. But it's hard to get them to separate, because if I get them to spawn again, those will make it through the winter. I mean, because I'll stop shipping mid-November, late November. Before the holidays, you're supposed to stop because of delays and all that. Tacos de carne asada. I like, my favorite is grilled chicken, and then like I'll do grilled chicken with a little bit of shredded white cheddar, and then I'll do a little bit of lettuce over the top of that, and then like some pico de gallo over the top of that, and that's my perfect favorite taco with a fried corn tortilla, a soft tortilla. That's my favorite taco. So when I go to a restaurant, that's what I get. The Polo Asado. I can't even talk tonight. I'll get a grilled chicken taco. And like when I go to a Mexican restaurant, I'll get like onions and cilantro, and then not the cheese, and then do a little bit of chips and salsa with it, and that's my meal. Mi amore. Mikey, what is your deal tonight? Hello, Carrie. How are you doing? Otter Creek Aquatic says, what do you sell those cheese creeks for? Send me a message, because it kind of depends on the size. But I've just been making people send me a message, and then we'll talk about that. I don't know why I do that, but I kind of have been. But they're not that bad. They're comparable with other fancy plecos, so. Cheddar. Yeah, white cheddar is good. De Donde Son. I'm not getting that at all. Is that a skillet with an egg? Yeah, I do a lot of huevos rancheros. That's what I have for breakfast, probably 3 or 4 times a week. Like, that's my main intake right now, is like Mexican food. Like, I'm eating a lot of Mexican food, a lot of chicken. I do a little bit of ground beef every whip stitch. Some of my eating stuff is kind of like the keto diet, where you can have bacon and meat, and eggs. That's all good. I just cut out bread. I don't ever eat bread or potatoes. Like, I had a small French fry like 3 or 4 weeks ago from McDonald's. And then like one day this week I ate a sandwich and I put bread on it. Actually, it was wheat bread. Just hardly ever do it. Eat a lot of veggies too. Alexa, play Despacito. I actually like that song. Soapbox debris. Beer. Bread is so good though. Man, homemade bread is really good. I used to have a bread machine, and I can make the best homemade bread. I even put it on the setting where it would get the crust a little darker, because that crispy crust was so good. Yeah, and I cut out beer too. I have beer every once in a while, and then I cut down to Michelob Ultra. But for the longest time, after my dad passed away, I was drinking 1 beer a night to try to help with my blood thinning, I guess, is what my goal was. But it definitely contributed to the beer gut. So I've cut out a lot of beer, because that is high calories, and it's liquid calories, But I've got about 9 more pounds to get to my goal weight, and then I'll take a look at things and see how things are then. Because I've still got a little bit of a gut, so I still want to stay in shape and all that kind of stuff. I wouldn't admit I drink Michelob on the internet. Yeah, I had a buddy that tagged me in a post this morning making fun of me about it. A recently switched from beer to whiskey. Is whiskey good for you in like it doesn't have calories and sugar? I got to stay away from whiskey though. I've got a story. So, had a big party at my house when I was in my early 20s. I think it was my 23rd birthday. And I started drinking whiskey and I ended up stripping off all my clothes, ran outside, got the water hose, and came in with the water hose and started spraying everybody in my house. So I got away from whiskey right then. Had to. So, and whiskey always made me kind of grumpy, you know? So I stay away from. I'm a happy drinker, you know. I like to be happy, and whenever you're drinking something, and then you know I couldn't do Long Island iced teas because they make you forget yourself. Reels is laughing at me. Yeah, whoa, Phil, that was a crazy night, and it was due to the whiskey. All right. I don't know how long I've been going. I don't even know how to tell that on this. Oh, we've been going for 41 minutes, so we'll go another 19 minutes or so. Dieting without exercise don't work. Yeah, I know. That's true. Well, what it does is it works for a little while. This is another thing that I've learned. You know, when I started wearing this, I realized, wow, I'm pretty active during the day. And this was a big thing that my dad used to always say. He's like, I walk around in the meat shop all day long, Barb. I ain't going to walk on the treadmill at night, you know? And that's true. I do. There's some days where I get home from work and I've already got 6,000 steps. And my goal is to hit 10,000 a day, but I always go over it. I mean, there's some days that it's 20. There's some days that it's 15,000. Today, I know I hit my goal today. Today I'm at 11,001. So that's kind of a low day for me. But whenever your daily activity is at your caloric intake, you won't gain extra weight. But whenever your caloric intake gets above your daily activity, then's when you start gaining weight. So then is when you have to exercise to burn off all those extra calories. And I learned that through just figuring things out. But I was learning Spanish, yeah. No doubt, Candy. Tampa Tom says, Jeffro, you going to keep your shrimp? Yes. I actually need to take some tomorrow to my LFS. I was in there buying some crickets the other day, and all his shrimp died off. He was taking some of the shrimp that he bought from me, and he was taking them home and breeding them. And he didn't know that you have to have, like, hiding spots for the shrimplets. And he just had them in there with, like, some big live bears, and they were picking off all the shrimplets. So I've got to bring him in some more. But yeah, those 10-gallon tanks that I've got on the rack that have my shrimp in them, I'll keep all those going. And I'll probably leave those on the middle rack is what I'll do. And then like my 40-gallon breeders that are in here in my dining room, the top one's got Lucipennis in it. And then rainbow tiger antlers, so I'll get rid of all my rainbow tiger antlers. And I'm thinking about posting some of these things on Get Gills, because I have an account on there. I've just been trying to pick people's brain that have been selling from there, because I want to be professional. I mean, knock on wood, I've got a 100% success rate on all my shipping. I mean, and I've shipped a lot over the last year. When I really start thinking back to it, I've actually shipped a lot. So I'm doing really good there. I had a lot of good teachers at that. And then the bottom 40-gallon breeder has multi-punctatas in it, and then blue star endlers. So I'll be getting rid of my blue star endlers. And I'll move both of those 40-gallon breeders to those, the top and the bottom shelf of that rack in there. And then, like, I've got a guy wanting to come and buy a lot of 10-gallon tanks this weekend, but I just don't know what to do. I guess what I need to do is I need to go in and talk to my LFS tomorrow, and because I've got that least killifish in there. I never did take those out to the summer tubs this summer, and there's probably 30 of those in there. Um, they're a really cool live bear, so I got some of those to get rid of. I never have bred my longfin white cloud minnows that I got from Lumpy Dog, but I will keep those fish. So I'll have to find a tank to move those to. And then another tank has platies in it. Another tank has zebra danios, but the zebra danios, they're not even mine anymore. They're Mortal Slayer 82s. Then on the middle rack, I've still got a killifish, and then the bottom rack are just assorted. I've got like red bar endlers, I've got lime green endlers, and then I got like those white iridescent endlers. So it's not going to be too bad. It's just I need to get out of the live bearers. All right, sounds good. I've got tons of tiger endlers, rainbow tiger endlers. Did you bring in your plecos from the outdoor summer tub yet? I didn't ever even stock the tubs. Whenever I left this YouTube thing, I've been keeping up on all my water changes, but I haven't done anything on my 300 gallon. I did buy the 75 gallon sump the other day, which I did find a problem with that. Back in February is whenever I ordered the kit for that sump, and I ordered it for an Aqueon, and I bought an Aqueon tank, and the dividers are too wide. The bad thing is they're too wide, and I can't do it yet. The good thing is they're not too narrow. If they were too narrow, you can't add to it. So I'm gonna have to trim the sides down, and I've got the pump. I just need to get all the plumbing. I need to build up my floor joists. I need to pour footings in my crawl space. I need to build the stand for the actual tank and the sump, and then I need to paint the tank. I need to paint the sump. I need to get a light for the sump, and then all the plumbing. And it isn't going to be a lot of plumbing, just some PVC, parts. But what was your question? Oh yeah, I didn't put any plecos out into the tubs to bring in. So, but I do have my super reds going. Like, my male has the female trapped in a cave right now. I've had them in a tank for the last few weeks, working on really trying to get them to spawn. I moved them out of the 55 gallon in there, and I put them in that 20 gallon long in there that I used to have my L393s in, and instantly they started having action, and I've been feeding them real heavy, and both of the females are going to spawn, I guarantee you, before long. Jeff Chambers says, what's going into the 300? Well, I lost my L24 cactus pleco. He died. I talked about that earlier in the stream. Right now, I've got a royal pleco. It's like the watermelon type. What is that, a L190? I can't remember. It's either a 191 or a 190, somewhere around in there. He'll go in there. Maybe. I don't know. I've been seeing some really cool... I'm going to put some huge plecos in there. As many huge plecos as I can. It's just going to be a big pleco tank. And then... gosh, how tall is it? I can't remember how tall my tank is. 2 foot? Something like that. Maybe it's 27 inches tall. I can't remember the dimensions. I think it's 36 inches deep, 6 foot long by 27 inches tall, I think. If there's enough water space in the top, I might get some fish that can handle the mid-level or top level, maybe. Maybe get a school of some cool fish that can live with plecos. But for sure, it'll be, big plecos. John Bedker says, how many 183 females do you have? I think I've only got one, and she's pretty small. Her belly looked really chunky last night. She let me get a really good view of her. But my L393 female, she's put on some size, but I've been feeding her heavy. I've been trying for 2 weeks to get them to spawn. I want to get one more spawn before the winter, but yeah, I think I've only got I've got 2 males and 1 female is what I think I've got. I started out with 6 and I lost 3, and I've got 1 huge male, and then I got 1 medium-sized male, and then I got 1 female. Come get them. I'm overrun. Oh, okay. Yeah, you know what? That's a great idea, Carrie. I'm glad that Mikey said that because, yeah, definitely. I'll hook you up. That's what I'll do. The next time I come through, for sure, is going to be the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. And on that I'll probably want to do it on my way there, though. So it might have to be just a high and buy type thing on that Wednesday night, because that Wednesday when the kids get out of school, we'll head that way. So it'd be like an 8 o'clock time. I'll get there at like 8 o'clock. I might even just take off that day or something. That way I can have all your fish bagged up. But yeah, I'll hook you up. Definitely. Or if, you know, I'm taking down a tank or something like that before then, I can always ship them to you too. Literally thousands. Yeah, Mikey got all of Priscilla's leftovers. My birthday is now 20. My birthday is November 20th. Oh, nice. Nathan Frowine says, do you have better success breeding your pleco pairs when they're together all the time, or when you separate for a while and reintroduce? If I can separate and reintroduce, I've been having good luck with that. Like right now, my L393 male was in the cave the other night, and he was fanning up a storm, and I thought, all right, they've spawned, because they'd been acting like spawning behavior. And I grabbed the cave and kind of gave it a little shake down there, and he just wiggled right out and then took off. And I bring the cave all the way out, and he had a big chunk of rapashi in the cave. I don't know if he was doing that to entice the female to go into the cave. I don't know if he was doing that just to hog it all to himself. But the biggest reason why I like to separate them is to where the female gets plenty of food to become gravid, because she can hold those eggs forever and ever and ever. But if you really get her fat and plump, she has no choice, and she starts trying to get into that cave to get that male and her to spawn. That's what my thought is. I don't know the science behind it, but from all of my viewing and everything on it, that's what I think really is the best. It's worked every time with my 393s, and I need to do it right now, but that was my only chance in the last 6 weeks to get that male out of there. And I doinked it. You know, I thought that there was going to be a clutch of eggs in there, because my last spawn, he kicked the eggs out. I didn't even get to see it. I had saw him goofing around like a spawn, and then the next morning I came in there and there was eggs all over the bottom of the tank. Luckily I got them all, but then some of them survived in the tank that I didn't find too. There's like probably 12 babies that are in there, and there's one that's like 2.5, 3 inches long now in there too. It's like, wow, he shot up. But yeah, I like separating them if I can. In a perfect world, you want to kind of do that anyhow to slow down your spawns. And then when you reintroduce them, lots of times, like what I would like to do is I'd like to get them to spawn again. I'd actually like to get the male out right now, and I would like to get them to spawn again. So in like a couple weeks after fattening up the female really good, get him to spawn again, and then pull him out whenever I'm getting the eggs out, and then keep him out of there for the winter. But if my super reds don't spawn this weekend, I'm gonna pull. I've got 3 males in there and 2 females. I'm gonna pull all the males out and feed those females really good. I wish I had like a pretty good sized tank set up right now where I can just do all male plecos, and then whenever it's time for breeding, just pull a male. I know what he is and put him in there and let it rip. Oh, detritus worms, beach, same old Mikey. Thanks, Jeffro, for answering my questions. Hope all is well. All is well with me, Nathan. Nice to see ya. Bye, everyone. Night, Jeffro. Night, Patricia. Nice to see ya. Let's see, what are we on time here? We got about 5 more minutes, and then I'm gonna get off of here. Get those boys out of there. Girls gotta eat. Yeah, I know. The girls, what ends up happening is things like that male the other night. He just had that great big chunk of rapashi in there. And I mean, he had it all the way at the front of the cave, and he just, so what I try to do is spread it throughout the tank. That way, you know, it's a 40-gallon breeder. But really what I need to do is I need to get him out. That way I can really get her really healthy. I mean, she looks really good though. I seen her a little bit ago, and I was surprised. If I was a betting man, I would bet if we got some kind of a storm in the next week or so, I would bet that they would spawn. Yeah, Mikey says just because you got skinny don't mean I did. You're skinny. You're probably skinnier than me. I know you probably way less than me. Bentley Pascal's here, good. Got here in time to say hi. Well, it's nice to see you, Bentley. I saw you earlier today. Was it on Joel's live stream? And I went over to your channel. I hadn't been on your channel in a while, and I saw that you are up over 4,000 subscribers now, so that was pretty cool. I was really stoked, so congratulations about that. Let's see, what else? Yeah, you're welcome. So yeah, what I'm gonna do is, I still haven't figured out, you know, I announced on my last video that I don't really want to do a schedule anymore. And the biggest reason why is I didn't have any problems coming up with content, but it was time consuming to upload twice a week. And I did it for, gosh, almost a year and a half, over a year and a half. It wasn't ever hard for me to come up with content. It was just time consuming. And then also what I would do is I would get way ahead, and then it started getting weird, because then if I trimmed my beard and came for a live stream and then you watch the video the next day and I had a big beard, but in real life I've got a short beard, it just made it awkward, you know what I mean? I was like 6 weeks ahead a lot of times. So like right now I would have had all my videos for September scheduled for YouTube. So yeah, it's never been that I had troubles coming up with content. When you've got 46 aquariums, there's always something going on that you can do. So yeah, so I think what I'll do is probably try to stick to like once a week, but I don't know. I was talking to Tom from TM Aquatics, and he said that he just doesn't do a schedule. I don't want to make people mad either. If I've got people subscribed to me, you know, I think I could do one a week, you know, and I'd like to live stream once a week because I always enjoy it. I just got to find a time during the week to do it instead of on the weekends. I got to stay away from Friday and Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, Jess says, Jeffro, just keep them guessing. Yeah, that could be what I do, you know, just do it whenever I have time to be able to do it. Like tonight, I was thinking while I was driving down the road, and today was a long day, by the way. I left the house at 8 o'clock and drove 4 hours and then spent an hour adjusting a wheelchair up in the northeast corner of Iowa, 5 miles from the Mississippi River, Wisconsin border, and then drove 4 hours back, and it was just a whirlwind of a day. You know, road days that are like that where you're driving 8 hours, that's tough. And then I came home and walked 6 miles. But like today while I was driving down the road, I had a lot of thinking in that 8 hours, of driving. So I was like, I think after Lucas goes live tonight, I'm gonna go live. Well, then after Lucas went live, I was like, ugh, my phone is like 30%, so I had to put it on the charger for a while. And I don't even know, I can't even see what my percentage is, so that's another drawback. Going from the cell phone, I'm gonna have to really be on my game and have my cell phone charged up because it usually isn't during the daytime. Jess Shrimp Granny says, yeah man, just do it when you can. Thanks, Jess. Phil says, sir, you are a hero taking care of people that need wheelchairs. This guy was really cool too. He's a basketball coach. He's an awesome dude. He's a Cowboys fan, so that was really awesome. We just hit it off. This guy is cool. Every once in a while, I have those that are out there a ways, and what the problem is when you're disabled, it's really important that you have a guy like a Jeffro. I've been doing this for 22 years, and I know what I'm doing. I'm going to be able to keep you from getting a pressure sore. And pressure sores are things that people that can't get off of their bottom we shift our weight every 12 seconds without even knowing it. Subconsciously, we're constantly shifting our weight. Disabled people can't, and my job is to make sure and get them some equipment to keep them from getting pressure sores. And I'm really good at it. I know what I'm doing, and I have to know the diseases, I have to know the disability, I have to know what stage they're in, I have to know what level of injury they have if they've got a spinal cord injury, because all of that changes what I help the doctor and the therapist prescribe. And this guy in the area where he lives, there's companies that sell equipment, but they don't have real good experienced guys. And another thing is there's some people that have been doing this the same amount of years as me, but I have more experience because I've done some of the more difficult ones. Like I had one from the University of Iowa one time where it was a set of conjoined twins, and they got separated, and where they got separated at, the little girl didn't have a whole hip socket on one side of her body. So I had to make an insert for a stroller in order to keep her setting upright because she didn't have a hip on this side of her body, and they called me in for that. Like, those are the kind of things that you really build your experience on. But anyhow, it's very fulfilling. I mean, the kids, I work with a lot of kids, and like this time of the year when school starts back up, I get to start going back to the kids again. And I work a lot with the area education agencies, and the kids are a lot of fun. They're always happy every single time. And like this guy today, super positive dude, but sometimes people who have injuries kind of are bitter about it. And I don't know how I would be, so I can't judge them, but they're a little difficult to work with. You pretty much have to go in there and just understand that they're just not able to deal with this very well. And it's kind of like the same way with moms that have kids with disabilities. There's some moms that are, whoops, pushing buttons here. There's some moms that are very difficult to work with, but then you have to put your mind in the mindset of this mom is dealing with roadblocks for her child every single day. And her child, she wants them to be able to do the same things that all the other kids do. So you have to just let her chew you out and let her chew about everything, because her kid is going through all these roadblocks, and I need to help her get them through those roadblocks. I went on a little tangent there. If you don't have any luck in a group, try separating them and see what happens. Yep. Do bristlenose plecos breed better if you have a group or just a male and a female? I've done male and female. Sometimes that's all you've got. You got a male and a female, so that's all you've got to be able to do. Sometimes if you've got a group it might make the action happen a little bit. Like my super reds, I've got 3 males in there and 2 females, and that's the way I've always had it. And it's usually only 1 spawn at a time, but this other female is getting up there where she's pretty mature now. So I'm thinking, I mean, she's had a spawn before, but it was a tiny one. But I don't know. I might pull the males out this weekend. If they don't spawn by the end of the weekend, I'm pulling the males, and then I'll start working on some conditioning for the females over the next couple weeks. And then when I put them back in, I might just put only my biggest male in there and see how it goes. I don't know. We'll see. But like Mikey said, if you're not having any luck in groups, you can take it down to a male and a couple females, or 2 males and 1 female. You know, you can try a reverse trio or a regular trio, and just keep on trying until you get it. But I have spawned with just a male and a female. You know, my L393s, that's all I have, you know. And then I've got 100 babies. Probably over 100 babies, actually. Wesley Bellin says, hopefully I got that last name right. Hey Jeff, been missing your videos. Well, I'm setting on some videos that I need to get edited. I just hadn't got around to it yet, but I'll get some content out there before too awful long. I'd like to try to do a video a week, but I'm not going to stay on a schedule. Phil Emerson says you're a great guy. Thanks a lot, Phil. Science Gal says my dad has a brain injury. It can be difficult at times. Brain injuries are very difficult. It's terrible. I hate any of those kind of injuries. You know, like a lot of times, like I've seen brain injuries where there was a husband and wife that were married and everything was perfectly fine, and then a brain injury happens, and there's so many things that people don't understand that can happen, and then it's like it was just a divorce, you know. And that happens a lot of times with some kind of even spinal cord injuries, you know. But the brain injury lots of times can cause anger issues and stuff like that, so that's probably, you know, not very good for a marriage. Sandy Doty says, Jeffro, do you prefer bare bottom tanks for your pleco breeding tanks? Yes, I do. And the biggest reason why is because plecos put out a lot of waste, and if you've got gravel and stuff like that in there, it gets down into the gravel. But if you don't have gravel in there and you've got just a bare bottom, they do a lot of tail whipping on the bottom of the tank, and that gets it up into the water column, which then if you've got like a hang on the back or something like that, you know, sponge filters work good for it too, but hang on the backs can really suck them in there. But yeah, I like a bare bottom. They're easier to clean. They stay a lot cleaner. Jess says, beard mystery. Jeffro, I watch a guy that pretends to be Bigfoot or spirits or something by putting a black sheet on. It's still entertaining. Yeah, that sounds kind of like it'd be entertaining. I really think that Bigfoot is real, actually. I believe there is one out there. Bob Steenfott says, just do what makes you happy. Well, thanks, Bob. And I wasn't really unhappy. It was kind of, I was actually in a zone. I was in a zone. I wasn't unhappy. I wasn't even really getting burned out. But I could have been getting burned out without even knowing it, too, because I enjoyed my time away. I really did. I mean, it's one of those type of deals where, wow, Saturday night I can go and do whatever I want. I don't have to be home at 7, because you automatically get in that zone. We're like, no, I can't do that. I got to be there at 7, you know. Hey Jeff, I already read that. Thanks, I'm going to remove gravel this weekend. Cool. I do too. I just don't think he sees it as often as he does. Yeah, there are some people that are like that. Okay. We are over the hour mark. I'm going to go ahead and jump off here. My 17-year-old son just got home, and the football team evidently got beat 69-17 tonight. So I'm going to talk to him about that. And I didn't get to talk to him after school. He was gone when I got home from work. So good to see you too, Bob. Good to see everyone, and I appreciate everyone that came by tonight. We'll do this live stream a little bit more regularly. I'll find a night during the week, and we'll do more of these. So thanks a lot for coming along tonight, and we'll see you guys on the next one. And peace out, y'all. Thank you for all your support. Actually, I really do appreciate you guys. It was nice to see yous all. Now, how do I stop a live stream on the mobile? No, that's not it. Oh, there it is. There's an X. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Peace out.